But before we finish, we'll pick our team for West Ham. Of course, we'll start with you. Your back four, do you keep the same? I mean, I suppose this is probably this next week is probably one of the only times of the season now where you may be forced to make changes because it's time.
Yeah, next week as well. I think they got the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I can't really make the case for anyone else stepping into the back four, to be honest. Tsimikas maybe at a push, but I still think it'll be the same. Certainly between now and the end of the season, if Van Dijk and Canate fit the centre backs and strengthen this kind of new role, he's almost unique, isn't he?
Yeah. Was that fair?
Yeah, if you're trying this new system and you're sticking with this new system, you need that bit of stability from the back four. You need it to come to terms with it so you can take it into next season. The fact that they're not getting clean sheets may be a slight concern, but on paper that is Liverpool's strongest back four. So you want it to play through it, get a few clean sheets, and find the form. Alternative to Tsimikas as that would be maybe put Joe Gomez there if you want to do. It's three centre backs, and it's not really what we want to see on paper, is it? We want to see Robertson at left back, Liverpool's strongest back four. When they're coming to a bit of form, they're getting assists from the full back positions. There isn't really too much reason to change it.
Possibly make changes. Maybe for Spurs at home. But what do you think?
Same back four, but Trent's not playing his new role. He's playing right back.
Yeah.
Because we'll get onto the midfield there.
Well,
exactly. Fabinho quite clearly is playing because that's why he got subbed after. I think Thiago starts, which means you can't play that way that they were playing. And I think the other midfielder probably it's time to get Harvey Elliott back in.
Okay. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I can see the point for Thiago playing on the left of the midfield three. I still think you can play Alexander-Arnold on the right to that midfield three when he moves in. But it's then what you do with the third man, which is why I think Curtis Jones has been important in recent weeks, kind of moving off to the left. I just can't see Jones starting again because he's played a lot of football and he's still carrying that kind of severe injury that sounds like he always will by the sounds of it.
I think it's fair to say he probably his quietest game since he's come back in.
Against
Forest.
Yeah. So I'll go with Fabinho, Thiago. Yeah,
you don't want dead space on the pod.
No, I'll go with Elliott because Elliott's been doing that thing as well, hasn't he, where he's kind of overlapping with Salah on the right. Yeah. So we've got Thiago on the left. So can move into the
can move into that space.
There's your midfield.
Okay. Theo?
My issue with it is that we have the strongest three on paper of Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago. And when we've seen it play this year, it's been rubbish. Yeah. And then if you put Elliott and Thiago in, that's been pretty rubbish as well. Like that was the three against Brentford, wasn't it? For that away defeat. So I kind of feel like you might need to stick with Curtis Jones in there because he's a bit different. He's adapting to this new role. So the only change you can see is someone like Thiago comes in, you're taking out Henderson, but even then. So I'd probably keep it the same. The only thing that comes into it is how much football Jones has played, as of course he touched on.
Would you play Milner?
I was going to say I would probably put Milner in for Jones because the thing is, if you're going to do this Trent experiment, I want them to commit to it and do it over a number of games. It might not work in the long term, but I don't see the point in sort of doing it for some games and moving out for others. And I don't really like Harvey Elliott.
I think that's the entire point of it.
No,
I think that's the entire point of it, is that some games you do play, some games you don't, so the other team are left guessing.
So it's the 4-2-3-1.
I suppose so. It's just whether you can. It feels like the success they've been having recently has been coming through. Trent just looks a bit rejuvenated. Even on Saturday, I thought set pieces were great, and that's not set pieces don't come from playing in that midfield position, but he just seems rejuvenated. Yeah,
4 assists in the last 3. Yeah, I think that's more than the rest of the season before.
Yeah. So I think that's why I would like to stick with it, and I think it would keep. I know you'd say West Ham could see it coming, and I think Forest tried to exploit it a little bit in the second half, but I think it's giving Liverpool a weapon at the moment, which they just don't seem to have had, certainly away from home. And I worry a little bit about Harvey Elliott away from home. I don't mind him at home, where Liverpool see a bit more of the ball.
So that's a player you're worried about?
You're worried about?
No,
very specifically though.
Only a very specific worry for Harvey. But yeah, I mean, again, I would be more tempted to make those changes in midfield for Spurs, where I think Elliott could come in midfield for Spurs and we'd see a lot of the ball. He'd see a lot of the ball, and that's when he's good, Elliott, when he's around the box with the ball. So, yeah, I would probably just on the worry that there's another worry that Curtis Jones has played a bit of football. If he has carried this injury, probably put Milner in for Jones and possibly keep Henderson on their one side for Birmingham, just to try and keep the balance.
This team's going to have fun here, haven't we? We're just giving like 3-4 different midfields.
The problem as well with West Ham is that if you're going to go back to what we said at the start of the podcast, and they're going to start lumping balls in, then you got Elliott and Thiago are about 2
Well, exactly. That's why I wouldn't play them both.
Yeah,
that's why I think Milner does kind of work for this
but
game.
then you can't just keep playing Henderson every single game just because he's tall.
Yeah,
Was it the West Ham home game when Pop referenced at the height of the team? That's why he made some of the changes. It was around that period where he made a questionable substitution, like the hour mark or something. I think he might have taken off Thiago, and he was saying it's because we needed a bit more height in that midfield for the set pieces.
You could have Henderson on the bench as the option for that.
Yes, but possibly.
It shows you, though, doesn't it, the amount of deliberating over the midfield, whereas last season you would have just named it.
Yeah. But and the season's gone by. When they won the Premier League, the midfield was pretty much, the same thing every week, wasn't it? And that it just shows you why it's really hard to find a balance there. Forward line, you all keeping the same, Dodie?
Don't know. Obviously, Firmino's not playing,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't play Diaz yet. He's not ready to start. He'd probably play against Fulham, to be honest. The only thing is, do you play Núñez? I know you're slightly worried about him.
I'm not worried about him
because he did
particularly.
score the winner against West Ham in the game at Anfield.
That's a great goal as well.
Yeah, from a Simicast cross, actually.
You're changing your back four now.
No, I'm not. Do you play him instead of Gakpo? Because that's not been something that's been tried, has it?
And that was
Jota and
probably
Gakpo. Sorry, Jota and Núñez and Salah, I don't think, has it? Someone will prove me wrong now.
Was it the second half, though? It was a little bit against Forest. Did they have a little bit on together?
In fact, they probably play like that against. They probably played that against West Ham in the first game because he would have been. Oh no, Jota was out. So yeah,
First game
I'm going to go
back
with that. I'm going to go with that.
Okay, so I can work.
Jota, Núñez, Salah.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I don't think you can take Jota out because a little bit of a purple patch that he's in, even though he has played a lot of football for someone who's had a long time out. But I just think just keep him in there because it's not as if you're wrapping him in cotton wool for other games down the line now, is it? So, yeah, I'll stay with Jota. Yeah, I'm going to go the same one as Dougie. Jota, Núñez through the middle and Salah on the right.
I'm going to keep it as it was again. So Núñez can be impact substitute again. I said last week that I'd start in this one, but now Jota's got his few goals. Keep Núñez in reserve. He's going to cause chaos off the bench. If you need that for a more direct game against West Ham, and if Spurs are going to be as fragile as they were against Newcastle, that's sort of game. But this might just be the pattern for me for the rest of the season. I'll start Núñez next week, and then I won't. But we'll see.
I would sort of go along with that, to be fair. I think, again, I see Spurs at home as a game where you can make more tweaks. I just think West Ham away just feels like quite a dangerous one that they need to get right.